I was actually out with the family and I started seeing stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the meal I was in. I thought this is getting bigger and more serious than I thought. So,
So this European Super League, the 6 biggest clubs, they put all their chips in the middle. They bet the lot on this. They bet the ego of their fans. They bet the ego of their boards. They bet the ego of the chairman. The fans, of course, without asking. They bet the honour of their clubs. They bet the integrity of football. What I want to know is, how does Gary Neville recover from his rant on Monday? What's going to happen
there? No, it was great, wasn't it? I think he had his good rant. Yeah, that was Sunday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sunday night, yeah.
And it was all just starting to bubble. I wasn't on TV on Sunday. I was actually out with the family and I started seeing stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the meal I was in. I thought this is getting bigger and more serious than I thought. So we had to rearrange Monday Night Football. Robbie Fowler was actually due on because the story went away from.
It's too big for Robbie. That's too big for Robbie. Couldn't handle that one.
Oh no, Robbie couldn't handle it. No doubt.
It's too big.
But we weren't going to talk football, and that was the whole point of getting Robbie in, going to his goal and all that. So you got Gary in, and then on Monday it was like this was snowballing, and it was looking like there was no way back. And then you just start. We did the show. You listen to Jurgen Klopp. You listen to the Leeds players, the Liverpool players, and I went to bed that night thinking, almost re-energized, thinking we can stop this. I'm going to say this is everyone.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything that has ever brought football supporters together like this. I honestly cannot think.
Not since Sepp Blatter, is it?
No. Well, do you know
exactly.
something?
He's the only one.
Well, this is what Gav. Tell him what you think is the one downside of it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask Jamie. Is now we've seen ESL off. How do we see UEFA off as well?
Right, how do we manage to turn UEFA into the good guys,
Yeah.
That's the only bad thing.
FIFA become the good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that's been on my timeline on social media. But no, I agree with you. I agree. Let's not make out that, football is won against these really bad people, these 6 owners. And you think of, like, obviously UEFA, FIFA, you think of where the next World Cup is in Qatar, voting and people getting paid for all this type of stuff. So, let's not get carried away with thinking like that. But the only thing I feel right now is...
Go on, what do you think
almost, now? Well, right now I'm thinking, can we not strike while the iron's hot? Is there anything else that we need getting sorted?
Exactly what we think.
That's what Johnny said. Yeah, what else did we miss out on demanding?
If we can only have one pint at half-time, let's make it free.
But basically, I think we've got a window of about another 2 or 3 days before everyone goes back to normal and starts slaughtering each other on Twitter and hating each other. So while we're all still mates for a few days, is there anything else we can get sorted over the weekend?
I was listening to Gary Neville ranting, and he said, Arsenal have been a joke for a long time, and Tottenham are a joke side. So he talked a lot of sense. But when he started going through the owners of clubs, and he was going, Abramovich, we don't know who he is, we don't know who Sheikh Mansour is. And I was thinking, you know what? We haven't for quite a long time known who these people are. It's interesting that now they've gone a step too far with their money. Suddenly everyone's protesting. For me, the game sold out a long time ago, and these guys, they didn't buy these football clubs because they wanted to help grassroots football. They didn't buy these football clubs and pay a lot more money for players than the clubs low down because they want to subsidise football at Bournemouth or make sure Norwich City get a nice parachute payment. That wasn't the reason they get in there. They want solid franchises, less risk, and all the big clubs meeting each other in an arena they can control, like the NFL is, which is run largely by owners of clubs. And that is precisely the way they want to take it. And they want to take it so the season actually has a proper conclusion, like a Super Bowl, which, of course, we don't have because, Liverpool won it last time. It's like watching Paula Radcliffe come home and win a marathon. You can see it miles away, or Tiger Woods winning by 8 shots or whatever. We can see who's winning it already. It doesn't have that climax, so you can see what they're going for. Do you think they'll come back?
Yes, I think they will. I think that's what I've been thinking about seriously over the last few days, and maybe something in these next few days as well about maybe something going forward. It's almost like we've won the fight. Or have we won the war, really?
Yeah.
You're going forward. These clubs aren't going away. No. The Real Madrid chairman came out, Perez, and said, this is not dead in the water. We'll keep this going. It's almost like they've put it out there and they see what the feeling is. Now, the feeling in England has been completely different to what I think the feelings are in other countries. It's not being as strong as what it is in this country. No. And maybe in a few years' time, they'll come back with a different proposal, maybe even a few months.
I think you're definitely right.
I think what's happened in this country, I think this will have scarred and scared owners for a long time, definitely. But this idea about the Super League in the future is not dead in the water, because something does have to change in football.
Absolutely right.
You look at the other leagues. I mean, we're talking about teams who've won leagues like 7 years in a row. This can't happen. That's not right. And that's not football.
And the other thing is just how, as a fan of one of the top six clubs, which wasn't a top six club for years, which obviously I'm a Chelsea fan. We're kind of like West Ham. We're sort of a yo-yo team going up, bouncing between the old second and first division. And suddenly we get all this money. We sort of change. It was a bit more gradual than, say, Man City, which is like overnight. That was like, the Trotters winning the lottery, in Only Fools. That one. But what's weird is how spoilt you get and how meaningless suddenly those games against, just lower clubs start to become. You just sort of think, well, we should win it. You really lose that edge on a Saturday. That's the problem, I think.
No, you're right. And I just think that the Premier League would have just fell apart, really, in terms of, I felt like Carabao Cup teams and would be getting put out. They save themselves for the Super League. There'd be no real competition in the Premier League. If Liverpool v Leeds on Monday night was a big game for Liverpool in terms of getting into the Champions League. That game in 3 or 4 years' time means nothing. It doesn't matter if Liverpool get in the top four. So if they just kill the Premier League, they killed everything, and it was just all basically.
But everything else has died, though. Don't you see? It's like they don't care. Like you said, the Carabao Cup's died, the FA Cup's died, the Premiership. It is flawed. If you look, there's such a divide between how much money and the quality of play. Anyway, okay, you can have a few seasons slightly wandering in the wilderness, like Man United did, like Arsenal are a little bit. Tottenham wander up and down, but they still remain kind of the big clubs in essence. And you just think, is the Premiership just flawed? It hasn't got enough there so that they're going to think, no, we'll stay in it because we can really help clubs like Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, the only worry for me is because you're thinking about, can you change football now because something has changed on the back of it? If we can stay together, it's proven that we can change things. But if football was ever going to be changed, it was surely going to be in a pandemic when there was no football. There was a lot of thinking time. There was a lot of things going on. There was smaller clubs maybe going out of business. Even the top clubs losing huge money. If we couldn't have got about change then, I do worry about whether we can ever get it done, because even though we're criticising these top six clubs, and rightly so, any other club in their position has done the same.
Exactly right.
I'm not getting kidded by these other 14 clubs in the Premier League. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's what's amazing is how it just does divide by the 6 who are going to think they're right. The other 14 that were left behind, they've seen their meal ticket go effectively. Or not their meal ticket, but the people who really bring the money to the game and invest a lot of money in the game. What Gavin I'd like to see as a change in football, Gav is passionate about a return to the Northern Combination League. What we'd like to see is the Northern Combination. We'd like to see. Now, what I think is going to change football, and everyone's forgotten this, is environmental concern about travelling fans. That's what's going to change it. They're not going to have. I mean, even at the moment, UEFA just ignores the fact that fans for this next European Championship, they plan to have them flying everywhere. And you're thinking in a climate of such environmental concern, you can't start sending these planes around everywhere, plane loads of 30,000 fans just going to that city and that city. So I think what's going to happen is we've got to usher in an age of a Northern Combination, a Southern League, and then and then the Premiership and the First Division the Championship sort of divided to North and South. Maybe
is this Northern powerhouse we keep getting told about?
Yes, it is exactly right.
And then at the end of the season, we have this, the big clash when it's the playoffs, like in America. It really is. Each game is a real North versus South one, and we really feed into this. And I think that way, at least people are sort of support. It gets the sort of, it's not like supporting England, but it's like go on the North, or actually in the case of Liverpool, if Man United were playing in it, they'd probably go on the South. I think. Yeah.
Radio X.